Professor Gerardo in the house.
Hey, what's up? Still getting
Jiu-Jitsu
used to
black
it.
belt,
Uh,
kids coach extraordinaire, instructor, I should say, professor now, right?
Yeah.
Artist.
Yeah.
Did one mural in the Pasadena so far. I'm working on the second one.
As we speak, taking a little break from that. Came here.
Nice.
Going straight back to that as soon as I'm done here. So
Nice.
excited.
What do you love about the doing the art and especially in the gyms?
So I find that it's therapeutic. It's one of the few things other than jujitsu that isn't very physical. It's more mentally satisfying, and it's very therapeutic. I think I can work on a piece, go in, I completely lose sense of time. I don't know what day it is, and I think it's one of the only things that I do and enjoy doing that does that to me, has that effect to me. So
Get into
I
that flow
love it.
flow state, right?
Yeah. Because even jujitsu doesn't do that. Because you're still like mentally and physically awake, and you have to be connected with your body. And when I'm doing that, it's just more mental, and it's all up here, and everything else just fades away. So it's amazing. It's
Nice.
therapy. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I appreciate. That was really cool. The one he did on the back wall, the first one, because it just kind of finishes off the space in Legacy Pasadena.
Yeah, it ties it in because it was all white walls. So I remember when I first walked into the space, I was like, "Whoa, this place is huge," and I was just the walls didn't sit right with me.
Right,
It was just
right.
There's something is gonna go. I'm gonna put something somewhere here because it just didn't seem right. It was just completely naked. So yeah, we had to make something happen, and yeah, just staring at that thing, you get like feel like it took something. You know? You feel like you're like,
Yeah.
damn, the longer
Oh,
you stare,
the lines and the like a jiu-jitsu black belt, right?
yeah, black
really
and
cool.
red.
Yeah, that's really cool. How did you find jiu-jitsu?
So
Why did you start training?
I initially started martial arts when I was 16.
Okay.
I was in high school. I had a friend who would always wear like this shirt of a dojo that he was training at, right? It was a Kempo karate school.
Okay.
And so I started training there, and I trained there for about 4 years. My funny story, my sensei was a Van der Braga purple belt.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I knew about Van der Braga for like 11, 12 years now.
Yeah.
But I never really no one ever talked about him because he was gone, right? You know, he was in Brazil for a while.
He got stuck, immigration.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we did a podcast with him when he came back.
Yeah, that was a good seminar. I remember when he was.
Oh yeah, we're here. Yeah.
I
Wow.
was like, damn, you're the guy. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I did that for a while. He used to teach us jiu-jitsu as well, but it was like very watered down. It was all right, you know. So after years, my sensei was always gone working.
So he was a
stuff.
Van der Braga purple belt.
Yeah.
And he would sometimes show you some jiu-jitsu things.
So he got his belt under Alessandro Novais, who I don't know who that is, but Van der Braga I'm familiar with now. So throughout that like Kempo journey, I found myself liking jiu-jitsu a lot more because you didn't have to get punched or kicked.
Yeah.
So it was fun, you know. And at some point, my sensei wasn't around too much in the later years because he was working on other things. I really fell in love with jiu-jitsu. I feel like I was the best one at the gym, and my jiu-jitsu wasn't good at all. You know, it was terrible. So at some point, I decided that I needed to grow up a little bit and do something that was a lot more practical and realistic because I feel like Kempo was outdated, just like some other traditional martial arts. Like, no, I'm not trying to talk smack, but I think it's a lot more practical, street self-defense scenarios. So I went around to all the jiu-jitsu schools in LA. I hit up Cabrinha. I hit up like Hollywood BJJ. I hit up every single school that I can find. And I fell upon Clube because I met Liz and another one of our old teammates at Chipotle while I was working there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They walked in with jiu-jitsu pants. I was like, oh, you guys train? Yeah, I'm training right now. I'm going to Cabrinha's a little bit. And they're like, yeah, you should come by Clube. You know, we chopped it up. And I went, and I never went anywhere else. Yeah, I remember my first class with Mark. I got choked out by Lulu. I got choked out by like Nancy Gregerson, Andrea, everyone. Like all the girls were beating me up, and I was like, okay, this is where I have to be. I'm getting beat up by the girls here.
Where did you live? Where were you from? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in on Sunset, Echo Park, Silver
Okay, okay,
Lake.
okay.
I was born on Cesar Chavez, which in Boyle Heights, which is like, Cesar Chavez is Sunset on the east side. So I've been on Sunset my whole life. Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, going back to the club, like if girls are kicking my ass, I'm like, okay, this works. This is where I have to be. And sure enough,
Shout out Legacy West Adams, right?
yeah,
Professor Mark Bradford.
Professor Mark, man, he's an awesome dude.
Yeah. It's amazing. All these things kind of intersected because we did that gym on Sunset where Anthony and all you guys, Professor Brian, those guys started.
Most of the people that came out of there, that came here, or still, we're all black belts now. There's only
it's crazy.
A couple, like we're all there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was one of the later ones.
And it was Professor Mark, right? Like he came to visit, and I was like, like I wasn't happy like managing all these schools, and I was like, man, what matters to me is the relationships, right? Yeah, and we just had a talk, and he's like, you know what? He came back another time or called me. He's like, hey, I'd be interested in, taking over the school, if it's available. And I was like, I think so. We made it happen, And he took the jump, right? From his government job, right? And came because he grew up in he grew up in
Atwater.
Atwater Village,
it's very nearby.
Atwater Village, and did it, took the jump, right, to the leap of faith. I asked him too, like, because he had to move from Hollywood to West Adams, right? And
it's a drive.
Yeah, but did you have any regrets or whatever? Because you had to kind of restart in a way, right?
With me?
No, Professor Mark. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent, But it's cool, man. He's like, no regrets at all, because the work that he's been able to do, like with you and with all the amazing, right, like OG, club. So I just wanted to give talk a little bit about backstory on that,
Yeah, no, Mark's awesome, man. Like he
and you guys all talk about him too in your speeches.
Yeah, he was a big part of my life. I feel like he was a figure in my life that I didn't have at the time, and I went to him for a lot of advice. And he never really told me like, you should do this, you should do that. He's like, well, what I did, what worked for me, and it was always, I always made decisions that would benefit me, of course, based off of his advice. He's a great guy, man. I owe him a lot.
Because he could kind of relate to you, right? The same.
Yeah, because he grew up in the area, he grew up, he was in some trouble, like most kids at the time. And he's a good dude. Yeah. Great guy.
How has the neighborhood changed over the years?
Well,
from when he grew up to,
I used to love Silver Lake, Echo Park. It's really popping now. It's really popular. It feels like you're in a different part of town. A lot more commercial. It doesn't feel as comfortable as it used to. I used to skate those streets every day, man. There used to be a little skate shop on Sunset. We used to hang out. We used to sneak up in the roof and smoke a little weed. The owner used to get mad at us. We used to do a lot. Sunset, which is a kick-it spot. Yeah, it's not as comfortable as it used to be. It's a lot more, it's super trendy. Super trendy, super hype. And I'm not so like, I can't say I'm really into whatever's like, whatever's in, I like to, I like other things. Yeah. But it's not the same. It's more expensive. The place that I grew up in, rent's like 3 times what it used to be, maybe 4 times.
Getting gentrified, like Highland Park and all these other spots, right?
Absolutely. Highland Park. Growing up, I would never go to Highland Park. I never stepped foot in Highland Park, and the one time I did, I almost got jumped. I had no friends there. You had no business being in Highland Park if you weren't from there back in the day. Yeah.
And now
Highland Park's cool. It's like, it's like there's tons of bars. I'll find myself hanging out there. Not so often, but I don't mind going there.
The Silver Lake is the same, right? It's all nice.
There's some restaurants that I really like in Silver Lake. I'll hang out there, but not too often. There's always something different every time I go. Like whole blocks are like just transformed into some new It's not what I'm used to. It's not what I'm comfortable with anymore. It doesn't really feel like home. Yeah, but I mean, now I'm in Glendale, right above Atwater. I'm very nearby. I'll hang out in Echo Park. There's some bars there that I like. Silver Lake has a couple places too that I still like to go to. I still have a couple friends in that area as well. Most of my friends left over the last 10 years.
Wow.
All my friends used to be there, but everyone,
It's too expensive.
Yeah, they got bought out, you know, including myself. Yeah,
But you found jiu-jitsu,
I did.
and
Yeah.
yeah, you said Professor Mark was
Hmm.
you know, like the like mentor, and
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know,
Yeah.
and what are some of the things that that saw you felt change that made you like, man, this is good for me to keep doing this
So
within you, right?
mm, for the most part, I was always like staying out of trouble. You know, I wasn't a very bad kid. I never got into like big trouble when I was growing up. I was I always had my mom in the back of my mind. So, you know, if I was doing something bad, I'd hear her in my head.
Mm.
Like, you know, she's really good at like making you feel guilty and like making sure that you feel ashamed for what you did. Like, it was not good, you know. But I always I felt like the discipline part, um, being accountable to someone. If you say you're gonna be there, you have to be there. You know, I don't. To this day, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't just say things to say things, and um, it's made me more responsible. You know, especially with teaching kids, I have to be at a certain place at a certain time. I can't, you know, if I go out these days, if I go out, I'm not gonna be going out super late, and I'm just responsible.
As a professional, right? But like when you were first starting, what were some of the things that you felt
Mm,
changed within you that made like that? Man, this is really good for me. And you did other martial arts, you did karate, right, and stuff.
yeah,
In 16, but
I feel like the confidence thing and the self-esteem.
mm,
Yeah, I wasn't always like, you know, very confident or felt the best about myself, or was
mm,
really like, you know, um, the confidence thing. Yeah, I
mm,
feel like now I'm a lot more calm. I don't, you know, I don't talk like I'm the shit. I've
mm,
never have been that way anyway.
mm.
But I feel like I was a little more cockier when I was a teen doing karate. Now I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Like, leave me alone. Don't fuck with me. Um,
More secure, and you don't have anything to prove.
I have nothing to prove. Yeah, I don't. I stay away from fights. I've broken up a couple fights, but yeah, I don't do that. Leave that to the stupid people.
So tell me more about like, you know, you like to paint and artists. What are
Oh,
some of the things that you enjoyed to do?
so I feel like I'm getting back into. So for the last 6 months, I've gotten back into like the creative part of me. I was working kitchens for a long time and teaching, and last year I was doing both simultaneously. I would go work in the morning, straight into teaching, and after like 6 months, I was absolutely burnt out. I hadn't made or created anything in a while. You know, I lost that part of myself for a while because I was like busy making money, and
Mm.
so in the middle of the year last year, I gave up my restaurant job, my cooking job, to just do jujitsu full time, and because I needed that, I needed time for myself to make things and even feel like just because you quit doesn't mean you're gonna actually be able to make something right away. It's like
Right.
I needed to get used to having the time because I was tired, I was exhausted, I was mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. My patience with the kids was running extremely low, and I don't like to feel that way because it's terrible. It's a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
So after giving up that job, I've just been doing jujitsu, and I was finally able to like tap into that part of myself. And like I said, it's mostly a therapy thing for me. Like when I create something cool, I'm excited every
Mm-hmm,
time,
mm-hmm.
and it just keeps my head off of things. You know, like I have art therapy. I mean, I've spoken to a therapist, but I don't feel like that's necessary at this stage in my life right now
Mm.
or currently. So I use art as that. That's my means of like just disconnecting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but art. What else do I like to do?
Disconnecting to connect, right?
Yeah, with myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, but as of right now, I told myself this year that I'm gonna try to do something new every month, like a new
Mm.
hobby, you know, because I wanna. Now that I have my black belt, I feel like I don't have to focus too much on that anymore. Like it's done. So now I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna go back to school next month for some graphic design
Oh,
courses.
nice. Hell yeah.
So
That's
I'm
what I'm
gonna
talking about.
take that alley, which is what I started on a few years ago, and I was like,
Mm.
you know what, this, I'm
Yeah.
gonna just. I don't need this, but no, I definitely like. I'm charged. I'm
Nice.
ready. I'm like really, really focused,
Nice.
and having the black belt, it's really it's doing a lot for me right now because now I can't use that as an excuse anymore. You know, now I have to do other things with my life, and I'm excited to see what comes because I feel like I feel hyped up. Yeah, I feel really hyped up. Last year, ended the year. It was a little weird, you know, I was a little depressed, but I got myself out of it. And
Depressed from what? It's that life.
yeah, man.
Okay.
Sometimes like last year was strange. It was one of the weirdest years of my life. Just things left and right, but that's just life, you know. But yeah, we're going with the momentum. We're keeping that momentum going from December. You know, as you know, I was in Europe for 3 weeks with my mom.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I'm just trying to keep that ball rolling.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Going to Europe with your mom for 3 weeks.
Strong.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
It was intense. It was intense, man.
How old's your mom?
She's 49.
Wow, man.
Yeah, she had me at 20, so she's
No way.
young.
Wow,
Yeah, she's
cool. Hell yeah.
She's a handful. She's funny.
So you could be my son, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, I remember.
I'll be 48 this year.
Really? Yeah. Damn. Okay. Yeah.
I don't feel like 48. I feel you know.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah. So that's the main thing, right?
So I went to brunch with my mom a couple of days before we left to the trip, and I spent maybe like 2-3 hours with her, and I was like, damn, I have to spend I'm about to spend 3 weeks with this lady. Like, how the hell am I gonna do this? Man? Like, seriously, I was like, what am I getting myself into? She's intense. Everyone loves her. She's funny, but she's intense, man. You know, it's like it was intense.
Traveling for 3 weeks with your mom.
Yeah, I've never spent that much time with her in my life. Yeah. She's great. She had a great time.
So how'd it go down? You're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. You had a brunch, and then you're like, okay, what was? Tell me some stories.
Oh man,
Share some stories.
I crossed my fingers. Well, yeah, I found myself drinking a lot. I was drinking every day, so I drank every day for 3 weeks up until I came back. I stopped drinking. Recently, I stopped drinking for like a week because I was every day. It got to the point that when I came back, that's the first thing I thought about. I was like, oh, I need a drink. I was feeling all sorts of
Wow.
Post-travel depression happens to me every time.
Man.
And also being used to drinking. You know, I've never been an alcoholic. I've always been able to like just let it go whenever I want to.
Where'd you go in Europe?
So we landed in Amsterdam. We spent a few days, went into Portugal.
Okay.
From Porto, we went to Barcelona, Bologna, Vienna, Prague, and we spent Christmas in Prague.
Wow.
Yeah. And
wow, look at that.
Flew back to a little town in Netherlands called Eindhoven. Before we took the plane back from Amsterdam. It was intense, man. I was exhausted.
You took trains? How'd you travel?
Plane, mostly.
Yeah. Amazing, man.
The only train we took was from Vienna to Prague. It was like a 4-hour train ride. It was nice. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. My mom hates smokers, and we went to one of the worst continents that you can go to if you hate smokers because everybody's smoking. Everyone and their grandma is smoking, you know?
In Europe, yeah.
Yeah, she was complaining like every 5 seconds about smokers. Like, oh, you know, like just talking smack. I'm like, dude, chill.
It's crazy how things have changed or evolved, right, over the years. Back in the day, like in the 80s, right? They used to be able to smoke on the plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. And
I mean, they were smoking in restaurants.
Yeah.
In Vienna, I've spent a lot of time in Vienna, and I think in 2019, it was the last year that they allowed people to smoke in bars and restaurants. They were still doing it up until then.
Wow.
But most other big cities in Europe had already cut it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure some little towns in Austria are still doing it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's wild. You go in there, walk out stinking like tobacco. It's not the best, but you get used to it.
Because you went to Europe like the year before too, right?
I did go to Europe the year before by myself. Yeah. I needed to get out. It was another one of those times where I was working a lot, teaching, and I just reached a certain limit. I was working for a good company, a good brewery, and they're awesome. But yeah, I needed to get out. I stayed longer than I wanted to because they were great to me. You know, Highland Park Brewery. I don't know if you're familiar, but I'll invite you some beer from them. They're amazing. 100%. They're awesome. They're great.
Good
Bob and Tiff, they're amazing. Yeah, I went last year. I hadn't been in like 3 or 4 years, maybe.
Where'd you go? Were some of the places that you went?
So last year I started in Amsterdam.
Right,
again.
you're telling me. Okay.
Because I was staying with a friend in Rotterdam. And from there, I think we went to Barcelona, And then I went by myself. I went to Sofia. I went to Bulgaria. I went to Greece. I went to Vienna. Vienna's my favorite city. And if I can live anywhere, it'd be there. Yeah.
Really?
So I'm always there. I'm always there when I'm in Europe.
What about Vienna do you like?
Everything. It's beautiful.
Yeah?
Other than like in the winter, like most of Europe, it's depressing as hell. It's just gorgeous. It's one of the most gorgeous places I've ever seen in my life. Buildings.
We were supposed to go there before the pandemic, and then our kids didn't have 6 months on their passports. The Schengen area, so we had to like reroute, and we went to Abu Dhabi and got their passports. We figured it out, but we were supposed to go to Vienna and then take a train. I was gonna go to Munich, we're gonna fly to Munich and take a train to Vienna, and from Vienna go to Armenia. But because we had to reroute our thing, we never made it. Oh man! And so we didn't make it to Vienna. But I was looking forward to going there. Yeah, you have
to. It's a gorgeous city. Yeah. Like it's say it's like the most culturally diverse place in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah, all those buildings are amazing. You can walk anywhere, you see like so many cool, like just everything. It's charming as hell, man.
Yeah, because I grew up in Germany, in Munich.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and never made it down there, but yeah, it looks beautiful in pictures.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. You know, you don't like most of Europe, like most major European cities. You don't need a car. You know, the U-Bahn takes you everywhere. Small city, 1.8 million, I believe.
Okay. The subway.
Yeah.
U-Bahn.
The U-Bahn. Yeah, that's how you get around. Nightlife is cool. You know, everything closes late. You know. Yeah, I have friends there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool place.
Nice.
And then you can.
How old are you?
29.
29, man. Yeah. Look at that. Nice.
29.
Taking your mom to Europe for 3 weeks. Who does that?
Most
good
people,
son.
Yeah, it's man, yeah. I don't think most people would.
How did that come up?
In retrospect, I wouldn't do it again.
How did that come up though? How did that happen?
I think during the summer she was like, she was hinting at it most of the year last year. Like, she fucks around a lot. She talks a bunch of shit. Like that shit she doesn't mean, and just to get a rise out of me. She's like, I want to go to Europe this year. I want to go to Vienna. I was like, okay. When do you want to go? She's like, I want to go in December. I'm like, you want to go in the coldest time of the year? You don't even know what cold is. Like, we don't have that here. Like, even Mexico cold, like, it's not that cold, you know? And, we made it happen. I was like, well, you tell me and we'll do it. And yeah, that's how it came. Like, a few months went by. We booked the thing maybe like 2 months before, maybe like even less than that. And like, all right, I guess we're doing it.
Wow.
Yeah,
amazing.
From there, I booked everything just because I was traveling with her. We needed an itinerary. I didn't want to leave things in the air because when I went last year, I booked my flight to Amsterdam, and from there, I had no plan. I was like, whatever I feel like doing when I'm there, I'm gonna do, and that's how I went. I bought everything while I was there, and it was the best way to go about things because I was by myself for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And training out there too. Training out there is fun.
I was going to ask you, did you train jiu-jitsu out there?
I mostly trained in Vienna. Not this time around because my ankle was and my knee, right?
Okay.
I was limping half the trip.
Okay.
Because I rolled my ankle really bad.
Okay.
But I used to train in Vienna at Hodge Gracie.
Yeah, what's his name?
Orlando Neto.
Orlando Neto, yeah.
Cool dude.
Yeah, we're friends.
Yeah, history. Yeah, so I used to train there.
It's a good school, right? It's,
I think it's the biggest school. They're the top school in Austria, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're winning everything. He's been around for a while.
For a long time, yeah.
Yeah, but Europe, jiu-jitsu in Europe is also like every major city has a bunch of schools.
Yeah,
now.
it's crazy.
Not like before. When I first went, it wasn't like that. Yeah, it was already a thing, but now it's like, it's mainstream.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere and be welcome with open arms, man.
Yeah.
Meet people that you feel like you've known your whole life. It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird thing. It's like I say, it's like a cult, but
yeah.
It's nice.
It's nice
to be able to walk into any gym and they welcome you. Like, it's cool.
What are some other spots you like besides Vienna?
So I really enjoyed. I've been to like Slovenia, Ljubljana, tiny little city, beautiful. There's this lake nearby called Lake Bled that has like a
Lake Blood.
Bled.
Blad.
Bled. B-L-E-D.
Belayed, yeah.
It's like there's this tiny little island with a castle in the middle of the lake, which is really, really beautiful. And it's a nice little hike, great views. It's charming, tiny, couple days there, it's a good time. I also really like Barcelona. I've only been to Barcelona. I haven't been to like Madrid or like Sevilla. But I like it there because I can speak Spanish and I don't have to be worried about any other language. So I like it there. Food is good. Everything is late there. Everyone goes to dinner late. Everything is just late. Like their time frame is just like up here. It's nice when you see people walking around at 1 a.m. and it's normal. It's a normal part of the way that they do things. Places that I would revisit are those two. For the most part, yeah, I think Germany is cool too. Berlin, it's fun times there always. I think those are Germany, Austria, Spain. Beyond that, I'll probably.
Did you hit up any jiu-jitsu spots in like Berlin or?
Actually, I didn't. I think the only place I've trained is Austria. I haven't trained anywhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure
I have
why.
some friends in Berlin. Yeah, I have a sticker for one of the gyms over there on one of the windows.
Yeah. I think that when I was traveling,
and we have some friends in like in Netherlands, Amsterdam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of Jack Luna's black belts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never traveled. When I was out there, like traveling with friends, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to train. There'd be times when I was in Austria because I was living there a few months out of the year. I just got lazy, man. I would train like a week or two, go hard, and then I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this. I just want to chill out. And then, a month or two went by, and I'm like out of shape. And then I come back here, and I'm getting my ass kicked by everyone.
What keeps you training here?
Like Legacy?
Yeah. But yeah, just period. Because being consistent, like over all these years.
If I don't do this, I'm gonna get fat as hell.
But what you were over there. You're like I'm kind of on vacation. Is that what the mindset was?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on vacation. Yeah, here I'm not on vacation. I gotta work. I'm at the gym every day. Like it's part of me. So I can't not train.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you hit the question like what keeps me here at Legacy, what were we gonna say?
What keeps me here at Legacy? It's my life is this. I don't really know anything else right now. I'm not saying I'm not open to other things, but it's just my routine. It's my people. Yeah, this is the family.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it too much.
Yeah.
It's just what I do. It's part of my life.
How many years now?
With Legacy? Well,
Mark.
The
first.
I used to come here when I was a white belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to come here on Sunday specifically
when did you start with Mark?
2015. In around May, June, around there. Started competing right away. I used to come here every Sunday.
A lot, huh?
As a white belt, I competed a few times. Nogi did pretty well, and then after that, I lost track. I got a girlfriend, fell in love, blah blah blah. Traveling or whatnot. Yeah, it was fun. I would have competed more, like knowing. I would have competed more if I could. And now I'm all beat up, but I'll compete. I'll compete as a black belt maybe like in a year when I'm part of the Masters. I don't have to compete against 18-year-olds. Crazy ass kids, man.
How did you get started teaching?
So I got my blue belt 8 months into joining Mark. And he had me jump on right away because I used to help with the teaching at the karate school. Okay. So he was like, I expressed that to him, and he's like, okay, cool. If you're interested. Garen, you remember Coach Garen?
Yeah, of course.
He was great with the kids, man. He had me help him out, and then, that's how it happened. He asked me, he's like, we'll pay you. You can train for free. Sweet, it sounds like a good deal to me. And then Garen left. And then the gym closed, and I was already training at Bryant's at Boyle Heights, so it was I was all over the place. I was teaching at Mark's in Hollywood. I was teaching at Legends MMA, which was also his. I was teaching Nogi, and then I would go to Bryant's and teach there. So I was like,
oh yeah, the other one that Andrea was over there too, right?
Yeah, I used to see Andrea.
Or was that by USC, right?
Exactly, on Hoover and 22nd.
So how far is that from West Adams?
I'm not too sure.
Not too far, right? I
Oh,
would
you just
think.
got to go west.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe 15, 20 minutes. I'm not 100% sure because I never had to make that drive. And I didn't have a car back then either. I used the metro all the time. I grew up on it. Yeah.
On Metro?
Grew up on the public transport. Yeah. So I used to go Hollywood, West
You're like
Adams,
a
Boyle
European.
Heights.
You're like a European in LA.
Yeah,
huh?
but it doesn't translate here. It's everything's so far.
It takes
you
too
need
long.
a car. I can't imagine my life without a car now. It's terrible. LA is too spread out.
I heard that back in the day that LA had one of the best tram systems in
Street
anywhere.
carts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Back in the day,
Okay.
and then the I don't know if it was the car or the oil industry came in and bought them all out, and then basically closed them all.
Makes sense.
Kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because the way LA is all spread out.
hmm Capitalism. Yeah, let's get rid of these things. Let's make more money. Of course. But yeah, I don't miss public transport. It's actually gotten horrible. There's like people like smoking up, tweaking,
Yeah.
people living on the buses on the
Yeah.
red line, on the trains. It's not nice.
Yeah, Alashande went to took the whatever the public transport is to
Uh-huh.
the train to Santa Monica at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Nell.
The blue, I think.
With one of
Something like that.
and just so many crazy people.
Yeah, no, it's wild. I remember one of the last train rides I took was to Long Beach. That's the blue line. I think the silver
Okay.
line is Santa Monica. But I took
Okay.
dude, I had to fucking watch my back. Like people were just walking in and out crazy.
Crazy
I just
people.
didn't feel comfortable. I was exhausted. I was trying not to knock out, but it's
Yeah.
like if I knock out, I feel like someone's gonna pickpocket my shit. And yeah, no, we weren't having it. But after that, I was like, yeah, this is not it for me. You know, I don't like to be on edge like that.
Yeah. Wow. And then just with Hollywood and everything else being the way it is now, right?
Hollywood's always been shit though.
Yeah.
I grew up going to Hollywood all the time. It's always been bad. I mean, I don't go often these days. Maybe there'd be like an occasion where friends or some people from Jiu-Jitsu are like, hey, we're going to this place here. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. Like recently, one of our new blue belts, his wife was having a little show at a hotel cafe or something.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Hollywood for that, but even like just the parking situation is ass. So
Yeah.
try not to go to Hollywood. It's not. I like more calm,
Yeah.
chill vibes, more underground stuff. Not necessarily like I don't want to be where everyone's at.
Yeah.
I don't care for that.
Yeah. How about Pasadena? So how do you like the gym? The it's not a new gym, but like being in Pasadena.
I've never spent so much time in Pasadena in my life. Last time I was in Pasadena before teaching, I was going to PCC for a German course. This was 5 years ago already.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ein bisschen Deutsch.
Ein bisschen Deutsch. Oh.
Ja.
Wunderbar.
Es ist nicht gut. Yeah, I was out in Pasadena. But now, oh my God, I go to Pasadena 6 days a week, twice a day most days.
Wow.
I love it. It's clean,
Yeah.
You don't see that much crazy stuff going on. Maybe a couple accidents every few weeks, but nothing crazy. It's really nice and calm. I remember when Professor Brian first asked me if I was interested in teaching. I was like, damn, Pasadena, that's kind of far. It's not my side of town, you know what I mean? It's not what I'm used to, but I like it. I like it a lot. I would live in Pasadena.
Yeah.
It's great, clean.
Yeah.
People are.
It's a good city,
nice.
good town. Yeah. Burbank, Glendale, Pasadena are like the spots I think
Yeah,
in
that's
LA.
the 3 places that I'm at every day.
I
pretty
think
much.
they're the best spots in LA. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not central LA. It's like it's its own thing. I like it. Yeah, Glendale's all right. I feel like further up north is nicer, but I'm right next to the cemetery. It's right on the hill next to the forest lawn.
Okay.
That cemetery is gorgeous. I was there on Sunday for the first time. It's beautiful. They have this.
Michael Jackson's buried up there, right?
I think he's in Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a Hollywood one, and then there's the one in Glendale.
Glendale. Okay.
But yeah, I went on Sunday. There's this big church in there, and there's like a building attached to it, super wide building that was made specifically for this huge painting that they have called the Crucifixion. That was made by a Polish artist. It's huge. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like that before. It's like the size of like maybe like 3 school buses wide. It's insane. I feel like everybody should go see that. It's free.
Cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We took the kids during the summer camp. We took them up there for a field trip one time they had like a Lego exhibition.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the museum.
The
It's right
museum.
next to the museum. Yeah, that building is next to the museum.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, it's really beautiful up here.
Yeah.
When you have the whole view of LA, right, from up there. So yeah,
That's a cool spot.
Yeah. You just have to go through the cemetery and then.
Yeah, people have been telling me it's great. It's great to hang out there. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and grab some coffee, one with a friend.
Right by your house, right?
Yeah, it's next door. I see the cross of the church right,
Yeah.
like from my parking lot. I just never been because it's never on my mind. And my friend's like, oh, let's go. I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good.
Yeah. So like you've been teaching the kids, and you know, I hear a lot of great things about you as a coach and teacher and friend. You know, the adults too. You know,
Yeah.
like I was talking to Lindsay, right, the other
Lindsay,
day. You
yeah,
know,
we're good friends. Yeah, we have a nice little crew. Like, I haven't had like a solid little clique in jiu-jitsu, I think, ever. I think at Mark's was one of the only times, but everyone was old. Like, I was the youngest one. You know, everyone's already like, I was like 20, 21. Everyone's
at the time, right? You were 20, 21,
you know?
yeah.
And I was hanging out with all of them. They're all married. Like, I'm like, you know, just a young single dude, like, you know, still figuring shit out, a little crazy. But that was like the closest thing I had to like a crew until now. Yeah, I feel like all these years we would hang out with people like at the gym, like maybe go out every once in a while. But now we're like the noon crew in Pasadena. Those are like my friends. You know, the solid crew, consistent. It's a good time. Yeah, it's we're actually gonna go to dinner tonight. Like we're pretty tight.
Nice.
We touch base. We see each other almost every day. Yeah, we have a good solid little core right now of friends. I like it. I like it a lot.
Professor Brian teaches a lot of the days at noon, right?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and
Monday,
I teach for
Wednesday,
like 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're there every day, pretty much.
Except for Sunday.
Except for Sunday.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a lot of great memories there at Legacy
I bet.
Pasadena. You know, just we started back in 2010.
Right.
And then the landlord just came by and was like, "Hey, you know, would you be interested in, you know, going back in?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, a lot of good memories. And the place has always only ever been a martial arts studio, right?
Right. Yeah, you mentioned that last time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's sweet.
That guy was like this karate legend, right? Tony Lunaris. He fought Chuck Norris, you know, like a few times. He beat Chuck Norris, right? It's funny because I say that to people just because there's all those memes, right, of Chuck Norris.
Yeah, Chuck Norris, man, he doesn't do a push-up; he pushes the world down.
Right. Except this guy beat Chuck Norris, right?
Yeah.
Every time he beat.
Well, I mean, he got beat up a lot, like especially against like judo guys and grapplers, from what I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's funny. That's what I tell people. So.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that place is
But he was like back in those days in the 70s, right? Early 70s, I think, or even, you know, back in those days, that was the real stuff. That was like the UFC. That was
mainstream.
Yeah, that was the main thing, you know. So he actually, like he should have won. He said I should have won the world championship in Japan, but I guess he got a bronze, you know. They set him up, whatever. I believe he's like very humble, down to earth. But it was he's one of the top. He was one of the top guys in the world, you know. So and it was like it wasn't even weight categories. It was just like one weight, you know.
Yeah.
So for him to do that, it's
bare knuckle.
Cool. Yeah, it was real.
No one talks about Chuck Norris anymore. I feel like it's like, you know, the new generation doesn't know what's up. I remember making a lot of Chuck Norris jokes before.
Still in your sure. 10 years ago, still strong, right?
Like, he's like, is he relevant? I guess only amongst anyone that's like almost like 30 and up.
Now, what's the guy from the Baby Don't Hurt Me? What's his name? The bodybuilder, the big buff guy. That TikTok. It's the TikTok era. Right?
I'm not on TikTok. I'm not sure.
I know. Man, come on. What's his name?
He was on
Gladiator King.
Coleman.
Gladiator, American Gladiator. What? Mike O'Hearn. Have you seen those Baby Don't Hurt Me videos? Like those memes, like kind of videos. Yeah, the reels.
Okay.
Yeah, just nobody's talking about Chuck Norris. Because nobody's making Chuck Norris memes like that.
Yeah. Hey, we gotta bring it back, man. Bring back Chuck Norris. 2024.
It's all about Michael.
But Pasadena used to be like a mecca for Kempo karate. Yeah, like Ed Parker, Kempo karate. There's a Larry Tatum there who was huge. Most of the most of the like high profile Kempo karate black belts came from Larry Tatum.
Oh wow,
From that lineage of Ed Parker, and they were all in Pasadena from what I understand. Yeah.
What'd you love about karate?
Getting that aggression out. I feel like there was a lot of anger in me when I was younger. So it was an outlet to.
As a teenager?
Yeah, definitely. From my upbringing, there was just a lot of like just anger and angst I needed to get out, and I was always kind of like I was sort of bullied. I was bullied, but not nothing intense. But it was still like it didn't sit right with me, you know. So I was like, I need to learn how to defend myself in case someone's trying to mess with me. You know, I could at least show him something. You know, hey, let me show you something.
What was a bully situation that you remember?
People were just assholes, man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Big dudes always think they're the shit. Like,
yeah.
It was a lot of like
nothing traumatic that happened.
No, like I said, it wasn't anything
just
intense. But it's like the fact that people think they could just talk to you a certain way, or like just because they're bigger than you. It's like I never really had to fight. Like I said, I've never been into fighting. I don't care. I don't care about that stuff. I don't believe in. I don't believe in it. It's like, especially not now.
Yeah. Well, after jiu-jitsu, it's like, yeah, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah. No, but I mean, people, yeah, like I said, I never got like anything traumatic, like bullying wise, but still people would talk shit, and people just think they're the shit, especially when they're in a crew. And I just didn't want to be in a situation where I'm actually being physically like fucked with and without repercussion. Yeah.
And you got into karate.
Got into karate. Did that for 4 years, and that introduced me to jiu-jitsu. That opened the door, and walked right in, ran through, and never looked back.
What does your mom think about your martial arts?
She still
journey?
calls it karate. I fucking tell her like I just stopped. I gave up. When I got after the graduation last month,
did she come to the graduation?
No, she didn't, because I didn't invite her. Because it's like, what is she gonna do here? Just
you took her to Europe and she didn't come to the graduation.
That was before. It was before. It was the week before Europe.
Oh my god.
I don't know. She's not a very like verbally loving or like touchy, you know. So it's like all the belts that I ever got in my life, she was just like, oh, you got a whatever belt, cool. It was never like, oh, congratulations, you know, like she doesn't know that these things mean something, you know what I mean? I think to her, it's like, I'm just fucking around or something, but there's respect. But
they feel it, right? That's good for you. Like, it's good for you.
Yeah.
You're getting stronger.
Yeah, but she never really like, I don't know the last time she congratulated me for something. Like, it's like, we need the validation, man. Like, I'm an adult, but I still need that.
Did she want you to do something, go into some kind of career?
So she never pressured me into going to like college or anything because I never liked school. I have like undiagnosed ADHD, and it's shown throughout my whole life. I can't sit there, just can't sit still. I'm actually doing pretty well right now, but I drank a lot of caffeine. But
there's different learning styles, right?
Yeah, I'm a visual learner. Yeah, and I won't do something unless I really want to do it. I won't force myself to do anything like the school thing. I want to go to school. I have that drive right now, so I'm gonna
take it.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna run with it, because before it goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
you can hyper focus on it.
Yeah. Oh, so when I got home from the graduation that day, I was like, "Hey, Mom, look what I got." She's like, "Oh, you got your black belt?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "How long did it take you?" I was like, just 8 years. She's like, "Oh, that's it." I'm like, "No, like, good job, mijo. Like, anything, dude." I'm just like, I already knew like, I knew that was gonna happen. It's like, thanks. Yeah, and then I left. I want to go meet friends up or something. Yeah.
Do you have any brothers, sisters?
I have a 23-year-old brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so unlike me, he's a brain. That kid was taking like, in elementary school already, he was doing like math classes with like the older kids, like at least a grade above. He was always like super, super, he's an intelligent dude. Always doing like honors and like AP stuff. And he like pretty much weaseled his way through high school without really having to do much work. He had like other people doing his, he was just super smart kid, man. Really creative as well. He's a photographer. He's
Okay.
doing some really cool stuff, like stop motion stuff with his photography. And yeah, he's unlike me. He's very smart, but he's also he's super lazy. I love the guy. He's a good guy.
He goes to what does he do now? He's a photographer, you said?
He's a photographer. That's what he does as his passion.
Okay.
He's like learning how to DJ right now. He's really into music as well. And he works at like a little cool little like high end streetwear boutique over at the Row.
Okay.
But it's like he's just fucking around there, you know. Yeah. But he makes most of his money through photography, as far as I know. He's
Cool.
about to go to New York to do some stuff like that over
Nice.
there. Yeah.
Nice.
Good dude.
Let's go back to the jiu-jitsu. Like, what were some hard times for you in jiu-jitsu?
Not being able to train, like being injured, not being able to train. I feel like I've had it pretty easy in my jiu-jitsu. Hard times. I feel like the hardest times are right now and over the last year. I have a partial tear in my ACL. That's been bothering me for some time. My other knee, I think my LCL, I've been having issues with that for a while too. But this one started, it was the right one first, and then the left one, and now the left one's like, I've been going to PT. Actually went there today. Yeah, it's been hard. It's been hard to train, but I have a nice little knee brace thing that I put on now because I can't train without it. I've had little injuries here and there. I've never broken a bone. I've been very, very lucky. I did have ringworm 2 times last year. For the first time in 8 years, it was last year. I'm telling you, last year was just out of pocket. It was ridiculous.
Probably didn't even know it was ringworm, right?
Dude, so the first time I got it, yeah, I didn't. I had to go to the doctor. So the second time I knew, I was like, oh, this looks like that shit again. So perfect. When I got ringworm, I hadn't trained for like a week. I wasn't training. I was teaching every day.
Okay.
I was in training because I got slammed by one of our coaches. He got me like a really nice judo toss, and he landed right on my chest. So I had a chest contusion. I went to the ER because I was like having trouble breathing. So I stopped training because I had the contusion. I gave that like about 9 weeks, and it healed pretty well. But I got ringworm in between. I'm like, it's just like one thing after another. And there was already things happening before. Yeah. Things happen after. I'm like, dude, what the hell? I'm like being put through something. And it's like, it's nothing heavy. It's like light things. But it's still like it messes with my training. And now if I can't train, it's like a domino effect. Yeah. Things start to like, fall apart, especially mentally. Because it keeps me well.
Yeah. Like me too. Everybody, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like
that's what we do.
I joke with my friends. It's like everyone that trains jiu-jitsu, like they got something. They got something's wrong with them. Yeah, like you gotta be a little ill to do this to your body.
No, you got to do tac fit. You got to have tac fit with it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was doing before. Before I went on my trip, I was doing tac fit pretty religiously. But now I
recover from all the things that we do. Yeah, or learn know how to recover from them too.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. But since I got back, I've just been busy with just getting my things back together, and it's great.
What were some highlights in your 8 years?
My 8 years
on your journey to black belt.
The people that I've met for sure, people like Mark, people like you, people like the friends that I've made along the way. Lost some, made some. People stop training. That sucks when people stop training. That's one of the ones that hurt the most. Yeah, especially when you spend a lot of time with people. Yeah. I got 2 gold medals when I first started training. That was nice. I didn't do much competing after blue belt. I competed once and I fell short. I feel like meeting Professor Brian, like all the people that are in my life right now, I've known for a while now, and I wouldn't be the person that I am if it wasn't for, like, let's say Professor Brian, Professor Mark, you. Like, I wouldn't. Yeah, I feel like for the most part, it's the people that I've met. Yeah.
The relationships, the friendships.
I feel like that's the most important thing.
Yeah. All the OGs, all the masters, that I've talked to, they all say the same thing. Like, what matters to them or what's the most important thing. It's like the relationships, the friendships that I've made over the years.
Yeah, I love my students. I have relationships with the parents, they're all great. They love me. It's all mutual, and these little things that, sometimes they'll give you a gift and you're like, unexpectedly, it feels amazing. You're like, oh, really? Like, this is for me? Like, yeah, we appreciate you. Happens every once in a while. You feel it the most during Christmas. You're like, holy shit, okay. but yeah, it's little gestures, you know, the parents really, really appreciate, and they make it known. They, you know, pull me aside sometimes. They pull coaches like, hey, you know, we really appreciate what you're doing. These, you know, kids, some of the kids, man, they've put in a lot of work. They came in timid and not wanting to be there. Now they're monsters, and all they want to do is roll. Like, we'll be doing technique, we'll be doing warm up. It's like after warm up, is it rolling time? I'm like, dude, we just started. What are you talking about? Finish warming up, you know, finish your technique. But being able to change kids' lives and like change them, like change the way that they are, you know, their confidence and stuff like that. Like, it's cool. It's cool to see like timid little girls turn into these monsters that want to roll with the boys, like the big boys. It's nice to see that, to instill this in the kids. It's
change
really,
your lives, change
really,
everything, right?
Really gratifying. Yeah, I'm very, very also blessed to be able to work with these kids. It's the best group of kids I've ever worked with. Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
Like, great work.
Yeah, it's Pasadena. Their kids are
yeah,
and they're doing good.
coming up.
It's a young school, and they're doing great.
Yeah, good work.
A lot of good people, a lot of good kids there. It's a good community there.
Yeah. Do you have any goals?
Goals. So I got the biggest, most important one is crossed out. So now I'm working towards more, right? Now I don't have an excuse anymore. So I'm going back to school. I feel like a long-term goal of mine, like the next big thing is I want to open up a school maybe in Europe. In Europe somewhere, yeah. That's always been in the back of my head. But, you know, there's always doubt. But now that I'm a black belt, I feel like it's just a matter of meeting people, you know, building the right relationships with the right people. I feel like that's feasible. Yeah. So that's like the big thing. I want to do that. I want to live in Europe for some time. Before I'm 40, I want to be out there.
Yeah.
I want to have a school. Yeah. I told myself I'd be like on a 5-year plan.
Somewhere in where they speak German, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Or Spain, you know, but like
Germany or Spain.
I like Germany, and I like Austria, man. I would be in Vienna. Yeah. But it could change. It could change.
Yeah.
But that's definitely that's like a big one. That's like the next huge one. Like, yeah, I want to move out there and open up a school. So we'll see how we can make that happen.
Yeah.
But beyond
you
that,
have to marry Austrian or
I'm not opposed to
a
that.
German.
No. I'm not, but it's not even that easy, because in Austria, man, like you can be a resident. You have to be like a resident for 10 years to get a citizenship. It's one of the hardest countries.
Austria. Oh, okay.
Tough, super tough. I've looked at many things. I've looked. Working, you have to make X amount of money. It's a lot of money. Like, it's doable here.
The Austrian, the wife is gonna want to move to the U.S.
I would rather live out there.
Right?
Yeah,
You're going over there,
it's
and then
expensive
she's like,
out here, man. It's expensive, and you got to drive everywhere. I'm over it.
The cost of living in Vienna is what? It's probably pretty high too.
I mean, if you're European and you're from there, then yeah, they say it's high. I'm like, yeah, come live in LA and tell me what's higher. You know, tell me, yeah.
So it's high. It's nice. Pretty high, right? Vienna, I would think.
So the thing is that when you talk to like people that are in school, they're all broke. Their university kids are broke. You know? I mean, yeah, they go to school for free, but they're not working like the way I work here, or the way most people work. Everyone has 2 jobs here. Everyone has 3 jobs and a side hustle or 2. You know, over there people have 1 job and they live comfortably. It's fine if you have a nice job. You know, you'll live fine. Rent's cheaper. Everything's cheaper. Yeah.
I was talking about Andrea. I don't know if she came in, and I was like, man, as she came back from her vacation, you know, she's like, I do 2, like a summer vacation and like a winter vacation. You know, and she goes for like 2, 3 weeks, whatever that she goes for. And I was like, oh, you do it right, you know, because Americans, they work too hard. They don't take the vacations.
Yeah.
They don't take time off.
Because you can. You know, and one thing I do know is that like Austria, for example, they have a lot of Catholic holidays. So they have a lot of days off throughout the year, for example, you know. So
that's European style, you know, for sure. And I think they do it right.
They know how to do it. Yeah, they know how to do it. Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
People treated you good in Vienna?
Yeah. I mean, like I had friends there.
Yeah.
I mean, I was getting stared at a lot the first few times that I went there. I remember being stared at by like Turkish people, because they would look at me and be like, this guy's brown, but he doesn't look Turkish. Like, what's up with this guy? You know, like I would get stared at a lot. Yeah. Probably the tattoos as well, but But yeah, I treated well, and people are very open-minded and progressive out there.
Yeah.
I feel like you have a good balance of both ends. Yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
Sweet spot.
Yeah. Yeah. I look forward to going one day to.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Yeah, it's nice, man. It's super.
Yeah.
It's a lot. There's a lot to see. It's small, but tons to do.
Yeah. I appreciate man, you the teaching the kids classes and helping the kids, right? Doing the work that we get to do. And yeah, man, just being just always so easy to talk to, and to always being a great training partner and another great teammate,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I look forward to you growing and keep growing, and look forward to your black belt debut, whenever that is.
Yeah. We'll see about that. Let's get this knee.
For sure.
I need to build legs, man. That's what I got to work on. That way to prevent further.
Get you back into tack fit.
Yeah. Eventually, once I get a solid schedule going on, then we can work that in. But
awesome.
Yeah. For now, I am working on trying to lift more as well. A little less jiu-jitsu training, more lifting.
You do lift in Pasadena?
I'm not lifting at all right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still.
Do you ever use the weights over there?
Oh yeah, totally. Like before I left, I was lifting at least twice a week.
Okay.
I need to make that my regime. I need a solid.
So it's good the way the weights and stuff is set up.
Yeah,
over
that's
there?
all you need. You need a push. You need a squat, and have bands. It's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't need much else.
Nice.
We have a pull-up bar, pull, push, squat.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Likewise.
And how come people find you?
How can people find me? In what way?
I don't know.
They want some OnlyFans. I'm on OnlyFans. OnlyFeet. No.
Jiu-Jitsu instructor extraordinaire and artiste.
Yeah. I'm
future
I'm
graphic
on Instagram.
artist.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at BNBN, but you're not gonna be able to find me like that because there's like a dot and two ends at the end. I don't know.
Like a Legacy. Just come to Legacy.
Yeah. Just come to Legacy Pasadena. I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'm there every day.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. I appreciate it. Good talking.